This may be the most important video you will ever watch. Not because of my words, but because of what's already been told to you. In 2010, they ran a tabletop scenario called Lockstep. In 2020, you lived it. Mandatory masks, temperature checks, borders sealed, biometric IDs, written a decade before it happened. And if that wasn't enough, back in 2009, Dana Horchowski read The Secret Covenant.
Hi, it's Dana Horchowski. It is October the 9th, 2009, and I'm going to read you The Secret Covenant. I only have 10 minutes. It's on the Polly Hicks section of CanadaStreetNews.com, and this is dedicated to the Jesuits, the High Freemasons, and the High Knights of Columbus, and those that have pledged a blood oath allegiance to the Luciferians, secret societies. The Secret Covenant. An illusion it will be, so large, so vast, it will escape their perception. Those who will see it will be thought of as insane. We will create separate fronts to prevent them from seeing the connection between us. We will behave as if we are not connected to keep the illusion alive. Our goal will be to accomplish one drop at a time so as to never bring suspicion upon ourselves. This will also prevent them from seeing the changes as they occur. We will always stand above the relative field of their experience, for we know the secrets of the absolute. We will work together always and will remain bound by blood and secrecy. Death will come to he who speaks. We will keep their lifespan short and their minds weak while pretending to do the opposite. We will use our knowledge of science and technology in subtle ways so they will never see what is happening. We will use soft metals, aging accelerators, and sedatives in food and water, also in the air. They will be blanketed by poisons everywhere they turn. The soft metals will cause them to lose their minds. We will promise to find a cure from many of our fronts, yet we will feed them more poison. The poisons will be absorbed through their skin and mouths, and they will destroy their minds and reproductive systems.
So anyway, I found that intriguing, and it all has to do with transhumanism, nanotechnology, programmable matter, and so on. It may even tie into chemtrails and Morgellons disease. But we'll get to that. Let's just start with programmable matter.
Shape-shifting material that can transform itself in real time, changing colors and shape on demand. It sounds like special effects you would see in a sci-fi movie, but this is no illusion. Researchers at Intel teamed up with the academic community to make what they call programmable matter.
This powder-sized chip, and that's a salt crystal. So this is a small thing. It's something called the Mu chip from Hitachi. It's the smallest commercially available RFID system in the world, and can be pulse-powered by radio waves. It doesn't require a battery. You can literally scatter this stuff like dust, or embed it into a sheet of paper. And you know what the really interesting thing about this technology is? This was commercially released 10 years ago. So, the inevitability of smart dust. So what is smart dust? Well, smart dust, of course, isn't a new concept. It originated with DARPA back in the 90s. And it's general purpose computing, sensors, wireless networking, all bundled up into millimeter scale sensor modes, drifting in the air currents, flecks of computing power settling on your skin, ingested, monitoring you inside and out.
But in the future, every square inch of every city will be alive with intelligence, because every street and every building will have a network of microcomputers built right into them. Dr. Chris Piester calls it smart dust.
A smart dust particle, or mote, is a wireless sensor with sensing, computation, communication, and power in one package.
These all-in-one microcomputers will be small, very small.
The size of a mote today is about the size of a grain of rice. And we've shown that we can make the circuitry small enough and light enough that eventually it will be possible to make things that are on a sub-millimeter size scale.
Tiny specks of computer smart dust will form a vast invisible network that can help manage the infrastructure of even the largest city.
Smart cities in the future will take this low-power, inexpensive, small technology and basically distribute it everywhere.
Sound familiar?
When the threats started coming, I realized I needed to leave. And again, I had no plan, I had no job. I was very scared, and I came out in a time that I knew, regardless of what happened to me, I was going to be on the right side of history.
You can no longer call something a conspiracy theory when Harvard, Bill Gates, and CIA director are all calling for these programs to start.
We have barium and strontium and aluminum and nanoparticles. I think some of these technically incompetent politicians don't understand what a nanoparticle is.
Don't you want to breathe clean air?
What I do see is massive evidence that we are exposed to an immense chemical soup of man-made poisons.
It's going into our water supply, it's going into our nose, it's going into our mouth, it's settling on our skin.
If you just take the time to look up, it becomes undeniable.
We the people have not consented to being test subjects.
Your own government's doing it.
You're spraying us like bugs, like cockroaches. That doesn't raise any flags? That doesn't make you think? Scratch your head? What's going on?
Poof! There's all the aluminum over this concentrated area.
You have everyone looking up at the sky. I mean, it's literally over our heads.
They foreshadowed it all. And while you were distracted, they deceived every group. Liberals, conservatives, blacks, Israel firsters, religion. Every one of you psyopped off your values. Charlie Kirk was assassinated speaking to college students. Instead of universal outrage, the internet lit up with cheers, memes, and celebrations. Murder became entertainment. This wasn't about Charlie Kirk the man. This was the signal. Political murder, now just another headline. And people cheered like their team won the Super Bowl. That's how far Psyops have degraded us. Once the party of peace and love, now the party of celebrating death. They chant, "Stop colonizers," while unknowingly supporting a colonizer. They vote for Democrats who take money from AIPAC, AOC, Schumer, Pelosi, the list goes on. Their taxes fund billions in military aid to Israel. They consume porn and OnlyFans,
It's fine if you want to make the case that OnlyFans is unfair because men can't do it. I just wish guys would have the gall to admit that that's their gripe with it rather than pretending that they care about like lonely men, future children, or anything like that.
I don't think it's right. Like, it's just not really good for society. It just doesn't really offer anything good. I mean, OnlyFans was trying to go away for sex work and they offered me a deal because I turned it down.
Wait, OnlyFans offered you what?
They offered me some cash to do a
sex tape?
No, not sex tape. They were trying to go away from sex content for a minute. They're trying to do post fight content and stuff. But I want nothing to do with it because association of it. I don't think it's good for society. So I'm not going to take money from a company. And even bigger issue to me, they give major money to Israel. Israel kills tens of thousands of kids. It's an evil thing. So your OnlyFans is helping kill children. That bother you at all or no?
Do you think other social media platforms are more neutral and worse?
They give the most money to it.
Okay, is it a spectrum? I thought genocide's just bad across the board.
Why other social media gives money to Israel?
I don't know. I didn't even know OnlyFans did, so that's the first I'm hearing of it.
They're the number one donor to AIPAC.
They're the number one donor, OnlyFans?
Multi-millions.
Hasn't AIPAC been around for forever? OnlyFans started in 2016?
Currently, they're giving insane amounts of money.
Okay, we can get into your JQ stuff later, but
I just want to talk about do you care at all your funny genocides? Does it bother you or not at all?
I just think that's not your actual gripe with OnlyFans.
I didn't think. I'm just a simple question. Does that bother you? Then you don't answer the question. You're changing the question.
Well, I guess I'm not changing. Okay, fine. I'll keep it on.
It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me to help kill kids.
Okay, but the thing is, I'm not the one giving money to OnlyFans. Like that's what. Like, I guess even by your own purview, like wouldn't you be getting mad at the Sims because they're the ones actually signing in with their credit cards?
But you're part of it. Like, I'm mad at both sides.
I don't think you are. I think you're more mad at the OnlyFans girls.
I said very clearly that I find the Sims more disgusting.
But the OnlyFans girls aren't the ones putting in their credit card info and giving money to AIPAC.
But they're still taking a percentage of it.
Yeah.
So you're still funding.
But I'm not funding it. The person funding it is the one giving the funds. So I'm saying if that was your actual gripe, you'd be fighting with a simp right now, not me about this topic.
I'm against the whole organization, which is why I turned down the deal from them.
Porn and OnlyFans, much of it owned by Jewish financiers, tied to IDF funding. They rail against colonization while literally paying for it. They scream tolerance while cheering when their enemies get killed. That's not progress. That's programming. Once innovators, pioneers, risk takers. Now, complacent grinders. Psyop. Work, survive, no innovation. The hard work ethic twisted into exhaustion. They live through others, sports victories, country songs, celebrity politicians, and worst of all, Trump worship. The party of God cheers a man who never released the Epstein list. They excuse the largest child sex trafficking cover-up in history because their team is still winning. The party of faith became the party that let faith in institutions cover pedophilia.
It's all been a big hoax. It's perpetrated by the Democrats, and some stupid Republicans and foolish Republicans fall into the net.
After emancipation, they were the most financially independent group.
Oklahoma had 45 black towns and municipalities. It was capital of black self-determination. Black people came for the same reason as whites, for new possibility. They saw in Tulsa an opportunity for business. Greenwood itself is an area of nearly 40 square blocks.
The Greenwood community was staked out by a fellow named O.W. Gurley, who really is the father of the Greenwood district and established the first business there in 1906.
Black Wall Street, thriving businesses, education, generational wealth. What happened? Burned down, destroyed. Moors betraying Moors. Black kings selling their own into slavery. Infighting became identity. Today, one of the least educated, most financially dependent groups, yet the most affluent in sports, music, and entertainment. Worshipped for physical gifts, but used to degrade society. Twerking, violence, porn culture. Once soft-spoken, hard-working, proud, now entitled.
Why not? I spend my money, they don't want me to use their fucking bathroom? You got me fucked up.
Another W for black people. You know she's getting away with this. There's gonna be zero consequences for this. Black people can't stop winning.
Lazy and bullies. Their wealth doesn't produce role models, only hollow idols. The people who once defined excellence became the least desirable to emulate, while still being the coolest culture in the world. That's the Psyop. Every empire has priests. Today, worship of the State of Israel. Conservatives chant America first, while sending billions overseas. Liberals scream anti-colonial, while defending colonization. Congress just passed a bill making it illegal for Pentagon contractors to boycott Israel. Translation: U.S. taxpayers now fund two armies by law, ours and theirs. And numbers don't lie. 500 million could end homelessness in America, yet billions go to Israel annually. Every broken road, every starving child, every homeless veteran is proof your government never cared about you. That's not democracy. That's ownership. All religions weaponized. Catholic priests caught in systemic pedophilia. Islamic sheiks hiding abuse under Sharia. Rabbis shielding predators in silence. All claiming God's authority while committing crimes. The altar turned from a bridge to the divine into a mask for corruption. This is how they keep you from waking up. Epstein outrage, forgotten. Kirk assassination, trending. Same day, Epstein files buried. UFO orbs in the sky, metal men in the clouds, forgotten in a week. This is Project Lockstep. Stimulus saturation, outrage overload. You forget yesterday's atrocity because you're too busy reacting to today's. And that demoralization sets the stage for the final psyop. Early September, a meteor crashed into Panama. A man documented it on TikTok. A black, tentacled entity growing from the meteor. It moves. It kills plants on contact. It glows phosphorescently. It regenerates when cut. Samples shipped worldwide. People call it venom. Others point to District 9 or Prometheus. Hollywood seeded your subconscious. Now when you see black goo, you already know how to feel. Whether real or staged, it fits the script. Asteroid as mothership.
You guys hear about that interstellar object coming into orbit?
Whoa! What the?
For real? The lights that you're seeing, that's caused by different exposures. So each dot represents its speed and rotation. So it's outside of our solar system right now. It's entering our solar system. It's moving in retrograde, which is super wild. They've observed it accelerating and slowing down. It's named 3I Atlas, 7 miles in diameter, bigger than Mount Everest, making it the largest interstellar object ever spotted. It's traveling at 130,000 miles per hour. This is what's also super weird, that it's almost like it's directing itself to where it's going to use the gravitational pull of Mars, I think Venus, to basically slingshot itself around the sun. October 29th, it's basically going to go dark behind the sun. And they don't know what's going to happen, what path it's going to take when it exits rotation around the sun. Like, it could be headed straight towards Earth.
Dude, what if it just comes around the corner of the sun? It's just like 3 times bigger.
This dude from Harvard and colleagues have proposed that 3I Atlas could be intelligent alien technology, citing its unusual orbit alignment with Venus, Mars, and Jupiter. So they're saying, that thing's crazy.
Alien organisms as invasive threat. Mass fear demanding global government intervention. This is the Blue Bee mark. Flood anomalies, overwhelm, reveal savior tech, and one world control. All of this works because you never rebutted the presumption. You lived through a social security number, a corporate identity that marks you legally dead at birth. Your birth certificate is traded as a bond. The US was always meant to be sold, bought, and used. And because you never rebutted it, parasites like Bill Gates and Yuval Harari can openly call you
useless people.
Every group psyopped. Every value inverted. Liberals, colonizers while crying anti-colonial, conservatives, team worship while ignoring Epstein, crowd loyalty to a foreign state, blacks, excellence to victimhood, religion, faith as cover for abuse. While you fought each other, entrenched power sold you out decades ago. This was never left versus right, never black versus white, never Jew versus Arab. It's people versus parasites. Stop feeding outrage. Stop being pawns. Anchor in sovereignty of mind, body, and spirit. And unite around solutions, not outrage. Through Buy One, Nourish Two, 50% goes back to the field. If just 3.5 people took 2 servings a day, malnutrition eradicated worldwide. At 2 to 3 billion, continuing to scale, we move on to ending homelessness. That's what unity could do. But Psyops made you too cynical to believe it. Charlie Kirk's death was a mirror. The Panama Meteorite is the foreshadow. Lockstep in the secret covenant or the script. But you don't have to play your role. Quit being distracted. Quit being deceived. Remember who the real enemy is. This isn't left versus right. It's the people versus the powerful. And it's time to invert the scales. Back. You are the elite, and it's time to start acting like it. This is the most important video of 2025.